mate. Guys, before we kick off this episode, I just want to say 3 things if you're coming into this one live. Number one, I really want to thank you for all the messages. I got a ton of messages about my post yesterday. Got literally a ton, over 20 inboxes from clients. It was a really nice piece of support to actually get that back. So thank you so much, guys. I just want to say that, sincerely, I really do appreciate it. In addition to that, 2 things of note. Number one, on the 18th of December, we are having our Christmas call. The Christmas call is at 8 p.m. Sydney time on the 18th of December. Please make sure you get along to that call. It is a lot of fun. We're going to have to increase our Zoom capabilities because there's going to be over 100 people on that call. We should have closer to 500, to be honest. But you've got to get on the call, girls and guys. I know it might be weird timings for you. Get on the call, celebrate, get to the end of the year, go out with a bang so that you start generating some momentum. And yes, we will be awarding some people. The second one, if you're from Sydney, Central Coast, or Newcastle or surrounds, on Saturday, the 10th of January, we are indeed meet up. So if you're not aware of that, go to the pinned post and you will see it at the top of the group under the featured section. But without further ado, let's get into this podcast episode on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This right here is the podcast that you come to when you are sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. If you are tuning in here, it's because you have some interest in getting some results in the near future, or you're a client, and the goal here is to give you the tools. Now, this episode is going to be really, really practical. Okay, we do a lot of mindset episodes, but I want to give you something really practical that you can put into place today. Okay, today we're going to really talk about something that I think every parent listening to this is guilty of. And maybe you won't like hearing it, but you absolutely need to. We're going to be talking about hidden calories. Okay. Now, we're not going to be talking about calories necessarily on like pizza, right? Or wine on Saturday nights, or the dessert you have planned, because you already know that there's a good amount of calories in that. You're choosing to eat them, and you know that, right? I'm talking about the sneaky little calories that slide into your week completely unnoticed and absolutely wreck your results. And here's the part that stings. Many of you are listening, you aren't struggling with overeating. You think, I just eat too much. That's the problem. But then you start to cut down your food and you're like, well, it's not what's going on here? I'm still not losing weight. For most people, it's struggling with mindless eating. And it's a drizzle here and a taste there and finishing the kids' leftovers and a few healthy foods that don't actually count because they're healthy. And then you wonder why that scale is just not moving. And how do I know, and how can I speak to this? Well, firstly, 3,000 clients we've worked with. But more importantly, it's like, I get this wrong still. When I did my most recent cut, this is how I got incredible results. I went back to tracking my nutrition for a period of time, and I started to see all the ways that the hidden calories had worked their way into my diet without me ever knowing. So why do hidden calories actually matter? Like, why do they matter so much? Because fat loss comes down to simple math. Anyone that tries to tell you that calorie balance is unimportant is absolutely kidding themselves. You know what fitness influencers do, right? They come up with something called the contrary argument, or to become a contrarian. They say something which sounds the direct opposite to what you thought was the truth. They're doing that to get attention. I'm telling you, it comes down to calorie balance. If you get calorie balance right, it's not easy, but it is simple. You need a calorie deficit across an entire week, not just Monday and Tuesday or Monday to Friday. You need a calorie deficit across an entire week. In fact, I would argue that for December, guys, right, this is typically a higher calorie month for a lot of people because of all the festivities. rather than like sitting on the sidelines and not enjoying Christmas with your family, I would be suggesting that you plan for a couple of 4,000 calorie days, like big ass days, by saving up some of those calories over the first 20 to 25 days of the month. In other words, start now. But back to the math. Here's what happens. Parents underestimate their calories by somewhere between, I think, 20 to 40% without even realizing it. And we have these people that say, I'm doing everything right, I'm doing everything right, I'm doing everything right. There's no way. Look, hard to get your head around. It's not because you're lazy. It's because you're uneducated. It's because you're a human and your life's chaotic and you're grabbing food on the run and you just don't know you're consuming it. And how do I know that? Because that's what I was doing. We all do it. We have a blind spot, and we've done studies on dietary recall and how inaccurate it actually is. Now, the killer is that these small blind spots, they don't feel like overeating, right? They feel like nothing. So we wash them away as nothing, right? You feel me? And when I start going through the list, you're going to go, yeah, actually, you're right. It's not as if you're sitting down and having a massive bowl of ice cream and that's the thing. It is literally, you're not overeating. You're having a little bit of food that's high calorie. You wash it away as nothing. But if you do that 2 or 3 times a day, it is something. And if you do that every day of the week, it is lots. It feels like nothing. Over a week, these little nips and sips and bits can add up to between 3,000 to 7,000 calories without you even knowing. And that is the difference between fat loss and weight gain. Think of it like this. You know, when we hold up the pound of fat, right? That fat, in that fat, there is 3,500 calories stored. So in body fat, a pound of fat is 3,500 calories stored. So if you want to lose a pound of body fat, you've got to create a 3,500 calorie deficit over whatever period of time. And then that fat will come off. That's the math of it. But if you've been really slowly gaining weight over the years, who's that? Who just, it's just really been really insidious, slow weight gain over the years, and you've got no idea why. It's a combination of these two things. The gradual loss of muscle mass, which happens as you get older, and if you do no resistance training, it will continue. The gradual loss of muscle mass leads to a slowdown in your metabolism. You're burning less calories. In addition to that, most people, as they get older and they get busier with kids and parents and career, what happens is their activity comes down just a little bit. Not a massive amount, just a little bit. So this less muscle, lower metabolism, combined with a reduction in your activity, is it possible that you are burning 250 to 300 calories less each day than you were a decade ago? Bang on. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Now, the other part to it is that we are underestimating our calorie intake by 300 to 500 calories a day. So if you combine 300 to 500 calories a day of little bits and stuff that we're not taking into account, and you combine that with the 300 calories that we're burning less a day, that's like 600 to 800 calories a day less. This is why you accumulate fat over the course of a lifetime, not just like this, very slowly. It's insipid. You don't even know it. It creeps up. You do that 7 days a week. Over the course of a week, guys, like, let me hit you with this. There is 4,000 to 8,000 calories that you are not accounting for, which is why you gain fat between a pound to a kilo a week, depending on how much you're underestimating. So let's have the discussion around the 8-calorie traps. Let's break these down so you can actually see where your week is being sabotaged. Number 1, I'm going to go through a list of 8 here. Number 1, cooking oils and sprays. So I want you to think of this as an inventory in your mind. Are you doing this or not? Cooking oils and sprays. And if you cook with oil, you're probably adding 150 to 300 calories per meal without even knowing it. So if you go to MyFitnessPal and you put in 30 mils of olive oil, that is 240 calories. Let me say that again. 30 mils in olive oil is 240 calories. That's the equivalent of 2 beers. Same amount of calories as 2 beers. 30 mils of olive oil. That's not that much. You do that every day. Over the course of a week, that's 1,700 calories, or about 10 beers of olive oil. But I thought olive oil was healthy. We're not talking about health. We're talking about calorie management, guys. So if you swap to spray oil, or you cook with an air fryer or a barbecue, it's summer, guys, in Australia, beautiful. If you wok toss things in a non-stick pan with some water, bam, calories gone. You just eliminated 150 to 300 calories just like that. Number 2, sauces, dressings, and condiments. This is where healthy meals become calorie bombs. A tablespoon of mayonnaise, 100 calories. A tablespoon of aioli, 100 calories. A tablespoon of pesto, 100 calories. Tablespoon of peanut butter, 100 calories. It's not the wrap or the salad that's the problem. It's the topping. It's the condiment, the sauce, the dressing. I go into petrol stations and I think to myself, I'm going to eat like something healthy. And I go over a jerky or a protein bar, and then I go and get a chicken salad. And just quickly, I turn it over and I see mayonnaise on the ingredients list. And what should be a 500 calorie, 30 to 40 gram of protein meal is 650 to 700 calories for a sandwich. And I'm like, it's the mayonnaise. I don't buy it because I'd rather not have to burn off that extra 200, 300 calories from something I don't even enjoy. Number 3, coffees, sodas, smoothies, and booze, right? I've got a soft spot for booze because I think that if you like a drink, that's fine. You can still manage your weight and still have a drink. But your morning latte that's 300 calories on full cream milk, it's not basically nothing. It's 300 calories. That's 2 beers. Your smoothie that you get from Boost Juice in Australia or Boost Juice, whatever it's called in Canada, it's like 600 calories. That's 4 beers. And the reason I keep comparing it with beer is because I think beer, people go, oh yeah, beer makes me fat. And they get that. But they don't get that their banana buzz smoothie from Boost Juice is fucking 5 beers in one go. It's crazy, right? And then, of course, there's alcohol. That's the silent assassin. You do that with what you wish. There is a reason, guys, why on our BBA nutrition protocol, it is absolutely number 1, the elimination of liquid calories. It is the simple, lowest hanging fruit. And the best bit is that the most calorie containing beverages, juices, sodas, alcohol, there is 0 calorie or low calorie options. Any person that is still drinking full sugar Coke, and has a weight problem, you're off your head. You're absolutely off your head. So full cream milk, go to skim milk, go to unsweetened almond milk, go to having water-based coffees, not milk-based coffees. For example, instant coffee, right? People go, they shit on it. Well, that's fine. Don't drink it, right? But have espressos or have long form coffees, long pour coffees with a little bit of milk in it rather than the milk being the predominant amount of the drink where you're just literally just drinking liquid calories. Soft drink, diet versions, juices, go to low joule cordials, right? Alcohol. Even with alcohol, you can reduce the alcohol percentage, you can reduce the carb percentage, or you can do both. You can have 2 exact looking, tasting beers. I love a Corona. Oh, Corona, 150 calories. Or I could have a better beer or a Burley Big Head, same kind of taste, same experience, 88 calories. You just halved the calories by just choosing the lower carb beer. Okay, number 4 of the hidden calorie list, This is eating kids' leftovers. This is a weakness for most mums. It's also a weakness for me. Maybe because I grew up in a household where I was taught not to waste anything. Who grew up in a household like that? Your mum and dad said, don't waste anything. You got to eat everything until you have your otherwise you don't get your dessert. And I must admit, I really struggle with getting my kids to do the same thing, especially if I want a dessert. And like all hidden calories, it seems harmless. Like, how could this little bit of food on my kid's plate make a difference? My experience is that I was full, and what I would do is finish the carbs that they didn't eat. That's not me bashing carbs. That's me saying that I didn't really need their leftover rice, their leftover corn, their leftover potato. I didn't need it, but I just ate it because it was kind of like I can either go like that into the bin or like that backwards into my mouth. But it's adding 150 to 300, 400 calories a day. So the new rule is if you're a busy parent and you didn't plate that for yourself, don't eat it. Okay, number 5. This one applies to almost all exhausted, busy parents. You finally get to 8:30, you got young kids, you have to put them to sleep, and boom, you finally get some downtime. I know that feeling so hard, and I'm hanging for it every day. So you open the cupboard as part of the ritual. Nuts, cheese, crackers, chocolate, ice cream, leftover dinner all of a sudden because you're now 2 hours after you had dinner at 5:30 with the kids. These foods are calorie dense, and at night, your brain is cooked, so you don't stop. You just eat, 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 eat. Now, I personally think it's good to have dessert. In fact, I would go as far as to say it's good to have dessert every night. That's what I do. But I don't keep all these tempting options in my house. I have no ability to consume full fat ice cream because I've got Halo Top or whatever equivalent you have in your country. I've got protein yogurts, I've got berries, and I've got tons of different flavored teas. I've got 30 calorie fruit ice blocks, 30, not 300. I've got homemade cottage cheese chocolate mousse. If you're in Better Body Academy, you should have the recipe. I also want to say here, forcing yourself to go to bed earlier genuinely works. If you are awake and you're likely watching something or scrolling, which means you are mindless in your brain and your body, I'm the same. What do you do? You crave the things that you do when you're stressed and bored and emotional and all that type of stuff, right? You're not craving chicken and broccoli, you're getting some chocolates. So one of the ways that you can fix this is just like go to bed. Just go to bed and actually get yourself the sleep that you need to power your workout tomorrow or getting up and going for a walk tomorrow. Number 6, this was the one that was keeping me body fat and not even realizing it. That is healthy foods. Now, this one's going to sound strange. Listen carefully. Healthy does not mean high calorie. There is a big difference. Healthy does not mean high calorie. Okay? There's a big difference. We don't try to make a habit of dividing foods into good or bad, right? Because we know where that ends. But we should absolutely understand the difference between high calorie and low calorie foods. So many busy parents say to me, I eat healthy, I just don't know why I'm putting on weight. And then when I do a diet recall with them and say, hey, all right, well, let's go through what you're eating. Breakfast, granola, fruit, and a latte. Morning snack, nuts and trail mix and, I don't know, a juice. Lunch, inch thick avocado, maybe a smoothie. Afternoon tea, protein balls. Dinner, chicken salad with olive oil. These foods, guys, they're nutrient dense, but they are loaded with calories. So yes, you're eating clean, but you're also eating 700 to 900 calories without even knowing it. Clean eating is a measure of the quality of food. I'll say that again. Clean eating is a measure of the quality of the food. Calorie controlled eating is a measure of the quantity of the calories in the food. There's a big difference. Only one leads to weight management. For me personally, it was a little more sinister. I was just eating multiple servings of said healthy foods, 2 packets of beef jerkies a day, 3 protein bars, 2 helpings of protein powder. These are good foods, but all calories count, regardless of the nature of the food. So if you're mindless in what you're eating, that's why you gain weight. Okay, we've got number 7 is once you've got your head around the fact that adding loads of oil to how you cook your food is one thing, you significantly reduce the amount, right? Now, if you're following a high protein diet like you should be, if you want to retain muscle and you want to keep full so you can stick to your calorie deficit, you need to be mindful of the calories in meat, okay? Meat fat, and therefore the amount of calories in meat. I'll never forget the day that I sat down with one of my best mates at a pub 10 years ago. We both ordered a T-bone steak. I ordered mine with veggies and he ordered his with chips, fries. Cool, no problems at all. It's a little bit higher in calories. But then what came next, I didn't realize people did this, and I'm not criticizing it. I'm just observing it because it's what I know. We both got T-bone steaks. He poured gravy all over the entire steak, and that big, like, half-inch thick strip of fat on the side of the T-bone, he ate all of it. That fat alone, that rind of fat, would have been 500 to 600 calories as a guess. I enjoyed my steak and I just cut that off and didn't eat the 600 calories. So if you look at our 2 plates side by side, my meal was probably 70 to 80 grams of protein. 7 to 800 calories and 60 grams of protein. His was probably 1,500 calories and 60 grams of protein. So same amount of protein, double the calories. This is where people are completely naive when it comes to nutrition, and this is why we're overweight. So if you wanted to grade meats from the lowest calorie to the highest calorie, here is how you want to think about it. It's going to come down to the fat content of the meat. Start with white fish is the leanest. Then we go into poultry, white meat, poultry, dark meat, very lean fillets of red meat or game. Then we move on to fattier fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. And then we move on to cuts of beef and lamb. Again, I am not saying that beef and lamb are unhealthy. That's not what we're saying here. In fact, fatty fish is amongst the healthiest foods on the planet, but it's still significantly higher in calories than white fish, for example. So you could eat almost double the amount of white fish as the same slice of salmon and have double the protein and the same amount of calories in double the serving size. That's not me saying that salmon is bad. I'm making the point that when you say you're eating clean and it's not working, it's because you're talking about the quality of the food, not the quantity of the calories in the food. Hopefully that example hits. The final one that I've got for you guys as we wrap this up is number 8, restaurants, cafe calories. You think you ate a salad, but what you actually ate was a cup of oil, cheese, nuts, dressing, bacon, croutons, and a side of chips that you didn't really ask for, but they come with the fish, so you ate them. Restaurant meals are routinely 1,000 to 1,500 calories at minimum. And there's no other way to say this, team, then if you're eating out more than once or twice a week, you're going to find it extremely difficult to manage your weight and stay lean unless you are an expert in calorie management and making good swaps, unless you know what you're doing. I'll share with you a couple of rules that I personally use, okay? If I eat out, it is protein first. You eat the protein first. The sauces always come on the sides. The sauces and dressings always come on the sides. And if they offer me like add-ons, I just don't take them. Like, don't just eat shit because it's free if you want to look good and feel good. Now, second rule, if I feel like a traditionally indulgent food, maybe like a pizza or a pasta, I will always make that at home. Always. Why? Well, not only do I feel like I can do a better job, I can involve my kids, make the pizza with the kids, I actually enjoy doing it. I control what goes on it. If I decide to eat out, I will eat predominantly whole foods that can't be infiltrated with stuff that I don't know about. For example, last night, went out with our family, did the Christmas lights. It was really cool. Stopped by a sushi restaurant, right? Now, sushi can be one of those things that really adds up in the calories if you don't know what you're doing. So, what did I do? I had a miso soup. Pretty hard to add stuff to that. Edamame beans. Impossible to really add stuff to that. And 16 pieces of sashimi, 2 plates of 8 mixed sashimi. There's nothing added to a piece of fish. It's all whole foods. But tonight, I'm going to cook in and I'm going to have pizza. But I'm going to make the pizza myself so that I can control what goes on it. It's going to be a thin base, some tomato sauce, an inch thick of veggies, not fat in a condom, meat, cabanossi and salami and pepperoni. It's going to be prawns and ham and turkey breast with a sprinkling of cheese. Not only does it taste shitloads better, but it's half the total calories at least and double the protein. It's a win-win. Now, we're winding this up. You might listen to this, all of this, and you might think, oh my God, this is like, if I got a choice, it's boring, right? If you got a choice between boring and feeling sexy and actually feeling energetic and liking how you look in the mirror and eating novel but feeling fat and hating yourself every day, like so many people start their day, which do you choose, guys? It's about having enough foresight to go like, how is this going to make me feel? And once you break the habit, oh my God, it just changes really, really quickly. I'll give you some examples of some recent clients, and I'm not going to name names. One of my boys, busy dad, he was doing everything right. His words, I'm doing everything right. I'm training, I'm doing my steps, I'm eating good food, but he wasn't losing any weight. Why am I not losing weight? So I asked him to actually map out for me how his breakfast. Okay, avocado toast on a piece of like focaccia, right? 780 calories. Then there's his latte. There's another 250 calories. There's 1,000 calories before 9 a.m. and no protein. No wonder he wasn't losing weight. Healthy food masquerading as low-calorie food. No. One of our female clients kept like picking at a kid's plate. And I said, well, just give me an example. I want you to write down what you picked at last week. Like, can you remember? It was hard to remember. She took a bit of an estimate. Over the course of a week, she ate 5 nuggets, half a sandwich, 1 yogurt, 2 leftover hash browns. Total calories, about 1,200 calories in invisible food. And now that she's cut that out, the one act of cutting out eating her kids' meals, she's lost 2 kilograms in the last month without changing anything, without counting any calories. Yeah, you know who you are. So these are some simple fixes. This whole nutrition business has become very complicated, and it's usually because the people behind it are trying to complicate it and make it difficult to try to sell you a supplement or a diet. Because the reality is, what I have taught you here today is not interesting necessarily. It's pretty bland. You probably knew most of it, or maybe just hadn't really thought about it. The reality is, this stuff is simple as shit. But what makes it hard is when we're tired, busy parents and we become emotional and stressed and we get to the end of the day and all we want to do is sit down and stuff our face with chocolate when there are better alternatives that actually half the calories for you. Now, if you are in Better Body Academy and you want a bit of a list of this stuff, you can go into your app and go to the guides section and you will see 2 ebooks there, which are the Hidden Calorie Handbook and the Calorie Cutter. They are under the guide section. Okay? Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you with the episode there. Hopefully this helps. If you got value from the episode, as I always ask, please come across to either Apple or Spotify, give the podcast a rating, and you can listen to some, 400 odd episodes. Guys, this has been the Better Body Academy podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. All right, team. A lot to cover in that podcast because there are so many opportunities to inject all of these hidden calories into our diets, aren't there? Right? Chris says, eating the kids' food. That's me. Good morning, Aaron Turner. How are you, brother? I hope you're well. What else have we got in here, girls? Good morning, Mel, Vicky, Christina, Louisa. How are you, girls? Hey, Kim. So hopefully that episode was helpful, guys. If you need anything, make sure that you shoot a message through to our coaches and we'll be on it as soon as possible. Other than that, peace out. We'll see you in the next.